It is expensive. Then let's not even talk about those who need insulin, those who need blood pressure medication. You name it, it is all being affected. Now, on one side, you have the local manufacturing companies, the small, I won't call them small, but the pharmaceutical companies that we have in Nigeria, localized Nigeria, that are helping to churn out some of the medications that we use, that we are meant to use, right, in the country. They themselves are not even immune to the rising costs. Obviously, everybody knows about the inflation, but the question is, how is it now translating to some of the products that they churn out? Take, for example, the very popular painkiller, right? Paracetamol, the very popular is a generic name, all right? I'm using generic name, the very popular one. Now, a card used to be sold for 100 or 150 naira. Now it's 250. In some places, even 300. And then, for those of you who like a particular brand, the brands that they tell you are more expensive or that are imported, for the same painkiller, they are now being sold for about 500 naira per card. Yesterday, one more time, on the streets of Port Harcourt, in fact, I was at my one, right? The park area, when you're taking a vehicle, when you're going to Amadiama or so Amadi Flat area, and you're going, probably if you want to get to town through the back roads, you're going to, Marine Base. So I don't know how many of you know Marine Base, but anyway, I was there. And once I was in the bus waiting, obviously looking around, somebody came, a lady came and said, "Oh, if you have this thing, take this drug. And if you use this drug, it will cure this thing. The drug is only 200 naira. I looked at the drug. I asked for the drug. I said, "Please, madam, let me see this drug." Ladies and gentlemen, I turned. It was not written in English. There was nothing on that drug that could tell me what it was. But this lady has told the public that this is what it does. 200 naira as compared to maybe something that will be sold for 2,000 naira. I'm going to just tell you, well, chances are more people will pay for the 200 naira. And it's not just that. Malaria medications, any brand, go into the market, go into the store, talking about your medical stores, go and meet the doctors, go and meet the pharmacists. You obviously have noticed there has been a hike. The question is, what alternatives do you have? How are you coping with treating and taking care of yourself? Because the biggest issue here for us as Nigerians is most Nigerians would buy their medication over the counter. Most Nigerians will not even get to see a doctor before they start to take medication.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
As always, turn on the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see it or hear it. Please do not make unverified and unsubstantiated claims. And very importantly, please do not make inciting statements. The numbers to call 08179230002, 08179230007, 08179230002, 08179230007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X.
Stimulating and insightful conversations. Hello, Port Harcourt. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
All right, so let's start off with WhatsApp 00903064160 08090306416. That's where you find us on the WhatsApp and Telegram portal. The numbers are good. Please, when you call in, turn down the volume of your radio set. There is a call screener, by the way, so you are informed. All right, so we're looking at medication and the rising cost of drugs, medications here in Nigeria. The question is, how are you coping?
The show continues after this break on Nigeria Info.
here is from James. James says, hi, G, good morning. Falling ill right now is a no-no for most Nigerians. You won't believe that the normal malaria that I used to get for my children has now gotten to the point where we are now starting to use agbo to help with their illnesses. I can't blame anybody right now, Jude, who's using anything other than normal medication. It is becoming very expensive. I used to buy the drugs for them at 2,000 earlier in the year, but now it's gotten up to 5,000 naira. So if 3 of my children are all sick at the same time, I may be spending as much as 20,000 naira to take care of them. We are now using agbo, Jude. End of story. But this is my problem with, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't or you shouldn't use alternative medicine. But my worry about, in quotes, agbo is that no one actually knows what is inside, except you're the one making it. You are purchasing it from somebody from Joke or somewhere along the road. You cannot be certain. And yes, I know some people have some individuals who they trust, who over the years have certified themselves as local healers or whatnot. And once again, I cannot fault you for going to them. But the question is, ladies and gentlemen, how are you sure of their efficacy? Do you know what is inside? And you're talking about giving agbo to your children. You wouldn't want to get to a situation where things get so bad that after taking the agbo, you now have to rush to the hospital to get treatment. That's a big worry for anybody. And it should be, please. Good morning, Jude. Drugs are not the only thing that have gone expensive. Even healthcare, going to the hospital beds now are more expensive. And if you need your patients to have oxygen, something drastic needs to be done. I'm not quite sure what you mean by this word, but something drastic needs to be done very quickly. Yes, something needs to be done. Everybody knows, because you cannot tell people don't fall ill. this Thursday, 23rd of November 2023, is medicine. Yes, medication. The cost of medication right now. Now, ideally, we should have a conversation, about the cost of health in general. But because in this country, there's a peculiarity of many people, if not most people, getting drugs, medication before they go seek, medical advice, orthodox medical advice. Let me be clear with that. Happening now. That was raised in the last year when a survey showed at that time there was already a 30% increase in the cost of certain drugs. Well, of the year, and following the as it were change in business model of some of the pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria to the point where they probably will not be here officially. Okay. You now have a rising cost. But it's not just a rising cost that's even the problem. You are now faced with the lingering problem of the quality of medication. Almost every day at the borders, whether it is at the land or sea or air borders in this country, we have seizures by NAFDAC. Substances that are not deemed fit for general consumption are usually found confiscated, and those who are trying to push them through are prosecuted. But there is a whole lot more to be done, because right now many Nigerians are faced with two very difficult choices to make. A, do I use this 100 naira to buy bread? Or B, do I use this 100 naira to buy medication? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the reality of many Nigerians as we speak. My name is Jude Omamigbe. You are welcome to Hello Port Harcourt. As always, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see or hear? Please do not make mention of it. Do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. Very importantly, please do not make inciting statements. The numbers to call 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. Drop call scenario, apologies there. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. That's Twitter, by the way. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. All right. So, what do you think others are doing? What are you doing right now? James sent me a message earlier. He said he's now using Agbo. He can't, fork out 5,000 naira if any of his children has malaria. So he's now gone to Agbo. And I'm not quite really sure if that's the safest thing. But hey, it works, I guess. I don't know. Ezekiel is on the line this morning. Let's get to say hello to Ezekiel. Ezekiel speaks to us from Ipo. Ezekiel, welcome, please, to Hello Port Harcourt. Ezekiel, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Jude.
Good morning, Ezekiel.
Yes. I am very much concerned about the topic for discussion this morning.
Please join us.
Yes, because I hope the government is listening to what you're saying now. And this is the problem when we leave Naira to the vagaries of the foreign exchange market. Food prices are rising, medication is rising, yet we are saving trillions of Naira every month. What do we do? And where do people go from here? I wish the government would take notice of what we are discussing now and do something very urgent. Otherwise, the people will just go and die for nothing.
Oh, dear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ezekiel. But that's real life scenario right now. I don't know when any of you who's listening last visited the clinics or the hospitals, and it's a very challenging scenario right now. Now, wait, hold up. Nobody's saying it's all doom and gloom and people are falling down on flies. No, that's not what it is. But it's becoming increasingly difficult, and it cannot be hidden any longer. It's not something that people would want to hide. Yes, when we have fuel increases, people talk about transportation, cost of food, but a lot of people are dealing with medical issues. Goiter, for example, the medication for goiter obviously has increased. Even as much as there's even the concern. I was reading a report on Monday. Even what do you call it? The vaccines for children. There is a concern, that the government doesn't intervene. There may not be vaccines to go around certain places. And yes, some of these vaccines are needed first week or first month of the baby's life. All right, let's get to WhatsApp. Abdul is on the line. Abdul says, Jude, if you are skeptical because you don't know what is actually inside Agbo, do you know what is actually inside paracetamol or any of the other alls and the nates and the nines that you have been faithfully consuming over the years? For heaven's sake, Agbo is simply good old natural herbs, mild and friendly to the body, even with its potency, which has been observed and confirmed by various cultures all over the world for eons. We are even encouraged to rely on herbs for our treatment in the book of Genesis. Abdul from Rumukoro. Once again, Abdul, I'm not saying people should not use herbal medication, but I said, look, if you are sure you are the one making it, fine. The reason why I said this before because I have tried Agbo. I remember sharing this story before. I have tried Agbo at the mechanics in Rumumasi, the Kansas River Road, what used to be known as the Stadium Road. I have tried it, and then I had a colleague of mine or a friend of mine years ago, and they conducted an analytical test. I think it was chemofluorescence or some they did some test right on Agbo, there's that popular one that is meant to help stimulate your libido, right? And do you know what they found? They found traces of your regular orthodox medicines that had been infused into those same, in quotes, herbal medication that people were buying. And it was surprising. These things were meant to be, in quote, natural, but they were extracts. They were very clear signs, not even clear. It was very high concentration of some of these regular over-the-counter drugs that people would buy in those drinks. So the question really is, do you know what you are consuming? If the knowledge has been passed down to you from generation to generation and you know how to make Agbo, no problem. I don't have a problem with it. Heck, my father was recently telling me, oh, look, you know what? Take this leaf, grind this leaf, just put a little salt in it, allow it cool down for a while. Then the next day, start to drink it and you'll be fine. I am doing it myself. That's me. But even those herbs and those leaves that we take, do you know that there are certain ways that they should be prepared? Anyway. Facebook at Nigeria Info PH. Uke J says, Jude, it is strange that a country like Nigeria is the way it is. Jude, I lived in Gabon for 13 years. Jude, you cannot buy medicine without doctor's prescription and signature, even with the letterhead of the hospital. No roadside chemist. It is a registered pharmacy, and for certain drugs, you will need the resident permit, what we call carte de séjour, to get it. You don't see anybody sell paracetamol by the roadside. It's a sorry state in Nigeria, Ukeje Bomadu says. For the past 10 years, I've been done with pharmaceutical products. I now use organic vegetables. Don't misunderstand it for herbal. It is best. It sustains the youthful vitality while aging, and I recommend it for the elderly. Basone Toby. 9.3, good morning, please. Oh dear. Drop call scenario 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X, it's Twitter. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X, at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. All right. WhatsApp once again is 009-030-6416, 009-030-6416. Please do not call the WhatsApp number. Someone's trying to do that right now. Please don't call the WhatsApp. Now, the last number I just called is strictly for the reception of messages. If you want to call, please 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0003. Fides on WhatsApp says the federal government should do something very serious to help the pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria in order to prevent unnecessary deaths in the land. Thank you very much, Fidelis. Drugs are very expensive. Herbs are now our savior. Interesting. All right, Ibeneme from Eneka with that comment. Once again, I think they've always been there, talking about herbs, and no one said you shouldn't use them. But the question is, there are certain ailments that you have that you may not know what the herb is for that particular thing, so you have to go to the hospital. Ibiso was on Audley Road. Ibiso, good morning to you, please.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Ibiso.
This topic is very, very important, concerning human life. And my own concern is the authority. They are seeing people that are selling these things. The people are not disappearing from one person to the other. They are seeing them. They are condemning them. They are not arresting them. They are not making any law to implement it. Like somebody mentioned Gabon. When I travel to Togo, if you have headache, like coffee street now, if you have 10 chemists, these 5 chemists will operate. And if you have headache, those chemists will say, wait, doctor, for your doctor to send you to the chemist. Everything is working well there. But our own year, there will go seminar, let us be or health sector. All the seminar, bring different points, implement it is a problem. Because they have to move and get to where they want to go. You know, if you put everything in order, something will not come. Now, those class down, the price is high. The price is high. So, you have to have that slow side of you can't see and be alive. Why the government are seeing all these things? Both monitor the sector, they will not do it well. They will just come up in the radio, social media, and say that what is declared of emergency in the health sector, and they are doing nothing. So now, I think the government, if the government take action, arrest them, put them on national television, others will not do it. They will not do it because some of them
but Ibiso,
take medicine. Go to Nisha. Look at what is happening in Nisha. Shock.
But so thank you very much. But apart from those selling fake medicine or maybe hawking drugs on the street, people need to find a way to treat themselves. Austin is speaking to us from Transamadi. Austin, good morning to you, please.
Hello, Mr. Chu. Good morning.
Good morning, Austin.
How are you today?
Very well. Thank you for joining us, please.
Yes. You see, the high cost of medication now is something alarming, to be honest. And, whether you like it or not, one must get sick somehow. But on the other hand, I want to say something about this Abu, the administrators of Abu. You see, I don't really feel comfortable taking Abu. Like you rightly said, if it's prepared by me, yes, that's understandable. At least you know the items I use and all that. But if it's being sold by people of which you don't know how it's being prepared, you don't know the items used to prepare them, that's another thing. That could be dangerous. I could remember my wife once told me when she was living in Nauka that the woman that used to prepare about the things she used and the environment, the water and everything, that she felt really sorry for those who patronize her. You understand? So Abu is not something one should take without knowing the ingredients used for it. So at the end of the day, no matter what happens, I go for normal medication.
Yeah, but normal medications are very expensive. Azubike is in Woji. Azubike, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Azubike.
Yeah, good morning. I for one, I believe in the herbal medicine.
Fine.
Yes, I believe in them. So what my challenge now is that they are not being checked. So they should be checked properly before they start marketing their products. If NAFDAC can check them very well, I think that would be a very good thing for us. We should develop the habit of making research from our leaves, our roots, and our local medicine. So, because they are very rich, God gave them to us for so many purposes, to cure our ailments and all those stuff. So, I'm not against them anyway. I'm not if I'm against the English medicine too. But all of them should be properly checked. Because if they're not properly checked, then we'll be at risk.
Yes, indeed.
Because some persons now use them to just make money. The thing is rampant now that every condition you go, you have that my take on this. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Azubike. All right, on X at Nigeria Info PH at Nigeria Info PH. I have a comment there from Mustafa Kali Koko, who says, in fact, it is very difficult for an average Nigerian to cope with the current cost of medication, especially in an economy where the price control is not working. Everyone fixes whatever price he feels comfortable to his or her goods or services. I think Mustafa has hit a very interesting nail on its head this morning, and that is the price control mechanisms. What are they? Where are they? Do people understand how they work? Are there regulatory and monitoring committees or commissions to the same effect? A lot of people don't know, and it's true. Today you wake up, a loaf of bread is 150. In about 3 weeks, it's 155 or 170 is fuel. And nobody's there to say, okay, let's say the fuel gets regulated or whatever was the hindrance. Let's say it was the policemen on the road that were collecting 100 naira and made them. So let's say we remove those policemen or we remove those bottlenecks, right? Who's there to reinforce the notion that the prices are flexible based on market conditions? More often than not, when the prices go up, people will tell you they don't come down. Very rarely do they come down. Price control is not working. That's by Mustafa at Mustafa Kali 12 on X at Nigeria Info PH. Once again, X at Nigeria Info PH, Facebook at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. Miracle Email on Facebook says the rise of medicine these days is becoming something else. Thank God I'm not falling sick. Oh, God is helping. But Miracle, you won't be the same every day for the next 40, 50 years. Anything can happen. I'm not saying something will happen to you, but your body is only flesh and blood. Something always happens. Something always does. You will get to have a headache or something. Yes, there are home remedies for certain ailments, but what if you even have an accident? What if? And whilst it's good that some of you say, oh, thank God you don't fall ill. What about your friends and family members who are prone to certain ailments, who have congenital issues, who have genetic disorders that need regular maintenance or regular medication? Take, for example, those who are sickle cell warriors, people who have to go through the challenges of having the sickle cell scenario happen to them. I know a few. The medications that they may need cost an arm and a leg in some cases. And let's not forget, people will require surgery. There's nothing we will do about that. Post-surgery, you need medication. But it's not just because, oh, thank God I'm not falling sick. Inshallah, nothing will happen to me. Right, great. But what if it does? I remember last year we had a conversation and somebody made mention that most Nigerians are one medical condition away from bankruptcy. Most Nigerians. Christian is on the line. Christian will be my final caller this morning. Christian is speaking to us from HA. Let's say hello to Christian. Christian, good morning to you, please.
Hello?
Good morning, Christian.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Thank you. I was with you people yesterday when you closed, but I couldn't get across to you. This issue of making Nigeria stable, it's like we really need to do control price. The government should be made to control price of things. It is not a matter of increasing salary. If you pay you salary and you do not use it well, it will not solve any problem for the general populace or for and their families. So, about the refinery, we have the resources to open refineries. Why are they not opening refineries? I'm not competing with anybody because I am not a politician. But that is what will help the general public.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Christian. Not quite on the same page as we are, but well, your thoughts have been expressed. Thank you very much. All right, Jude, good morning. Jonathan Anyao on Facebook says, do you know that some of those natural herbs have NAFDAC numbers? I think I do, especially the ones prepared and sealed, which means the government and the agencies are not doing their work properly, because before NAFDAC will issue numbers, they should have known the content of the herbs. It's a good one. That's another pressure that needs to be on the government agency. Do they actually know? Do they carry out research? The idea is they should have, because I do know that before you have any product in the market, now particularly something that's going to be consumed, NAFDAC should be in the know. And then obviously they will test, they'll check the content, the constituents, the concentrations as you have them labeled, and they will try to verify. They have the tools for that. But once again, like I said, maybe they're inundated with a lot of work, and obviously, staff restrictions. I don't know. But we have to find a way. Jude, good morning. It is not a palatable situation in this country as it has affected medicine. A month ago, I was admitted to the hospital. On that 1 week, 162,000 naira gone. 160,000. Anyway, we'll be back after the break.
Nigeria Info will be right back.